For many people, March 12, 2023 was just another ordinary day. But for Meshay, her daughter, and their family, it marked the beginning of a nightmare. Meshay Melendez and her young daughter, Layla Stewart, had vanished, leaving their family in a state of shock and deep confusion. Friends and loved ones were overcome with an unsettling emptiness as they realized something was terribly wrong. The mother and daughter were last seen with Kirkland Warren, Meshay's ex-boyfriend, a man with a troubling history of violence. But people kept asking, where could they be? The search took a tragic turn when two bodies were discovered in a remote area, sending shockwaves through the community and shattering the hearts of those who knew them. The devastating news that Meshay Melendez and her 7-year-old daughter Layla had lost their lives in such a horrific way left friends and family grappling with grief and disbelief. The circumstances surrounding their disappearance became the center of attention for investigators and the public. This is the story of a woman who wanted love and safety for herself and her child, but ended up facing a heartbreaking tragedy. In Vancouver, Washington, a mother and daughter lived together and shared a special bond filled with love and happiness. Meshay Melendez, 27, was a kind and caring person who brought joy to everyone around her. She was known for always putting her family first and living life with a big, loving heart. Her 7-year-old daughter, Layla, was the most important part of her life. Layla was full of energy and curiosity, with a laugh that could make anyone smile. Their bond was strong and full of love, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who knew them. Meshay worked hard to create a loving home for Layla. Friends often described her as a dedicated mother who would do anything for her child. She dreamed of providing Layla with opportunities to explore and learn, hoping to see her grow into a strong and independent young woman. They shared countless moments, from playful afternoons at the park to cozy nights filled with stories and laughter. Family members recall how Layla often comforted friends when they were feeling down, just like her mother taught her. She had an innate ability to make people smile, even on their worst days. However, beneath this beautiful relationship lay challenges that would eventually lead to tragedy. Despite Meshay's efforts to shield Layla from harm, external forces threatened their happiness. Meshay's personal life struggles began to cast shadows over their bright existence. The struggles began a few months after Meshay met her ex-boyfriend, Kirkland Warren. Warren presented himself as a caring partner at first, showing interest in both Meshay and her daughter, Layla. He gained Meshay's trust, and their relationship progressed quickly. They shared their lovely memories through social media. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly normal relationship lay hidden troubles that would soon emerge. Meshay tried to hold on to her relationship with Warren by showing him patience and forgiveness, even when things went wrong. She believed that working through their problems and offering him more love, instead of reacting with anger or revenge, could help repair what was broken. According to her TikTok post from October 2022, she wanted to show him a kind of love and understanding he might not have been used to, hoping it would strengthen their bond. Unfortunately, no matter how much she tried, the relationship faced challenges that love alone couldn't fix. At the time of their relationship, Kirkland was already married to Monet Tyler Warren, who later got involved in a fraudulent scheme with her husband Kirkland under Meshay's name. We'll get to that later in the story. The relationship took a more serious turn when conflict incidents escalated into alarming events. In December 2022, Kirkland was accused of firing shots at Meshay's apartment during an argument. This incident led to a protection order against him, yet he continued to find ways to contact her. He manipulated situations that brought them back together, even after the order was in place. Despite the court's protection order, Warren's actions in early March 2023 showed a pattern of calculated behavior. He pressured Meshay through text messages and phone calls, trying to make her drop the charges against him. When Meshay asked, "What should I do?" In one conversation, Warren responded, "It's all on you. Are you going to get this dropped?" During this time, he also took control of Meshay's finances, transferring $4,200 from her account. Warren gained access to Meshay's phone through a combination of manipulation and control over her life. While specific details about how he accessed her phone are not explicitly outlined in the available information, it is known that he had a significant influence on Meshay during this period. Prior to this transaction, Warren's wife, Monet Tyler Warren, was involved in a fraudulent scheme with her husband, Warren, where she transferred money from customer accounts at the credit union into an account under Meshay's name. This financial scheme began in late 2022 at Trailhead Credit Union in Portland. Monet Tyler Warren, age 26, worked at the credit union and used her employee access to carry out unauthorized transfers. On October 14, 2022, Tyler Warren first transferred $4,500 from a customer's account to another account. The following month, surveillance footage captured Meshay Melendez entering the credit union to open a new account. Shortly after, on November 21st, Tyler Warren moved $20,000 from another customer's account into the account under Meshay's name. When questioned by investigators, Tyler Warren admitted to taking approximately $25,000 from two customer accounts. She stated that her husband, Kirkland Warren, had instructed her to carry out these transfers. For her actions, Tyler Warren faced multiple charges, including first-degree theft and identity theft. In February 2024, she pleaded guilty and received a sentence of 2 years probation. Throughout the investigation, she maintained that she had no knowledge of what would later happen to Meshay and Layla. However, no one knows how much she truly knew about the nature of her husband's relationship with Meshay. This relationship, which might have started normally, had transformed into something that would change many lives forever. This pattern of behavior happened while Warren was already facing serious charges in Arkansas, but told Meshay in one of their last conversations, "There is no way I'm going back to Arkansas." Warren isn't just an ordinary person, he has had several cases. Long before meeting Meshay Melendez, Kirkland Warren had a history that would shape future events. In November 2017, Warren was involved in a serious incident in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He admitted to shooting Curtis Urquhart, age 57, in the head after they left a notary's office. Warren claimed he became scared for his life, then left Urquhart's body in a ditch near Stuttgart. Warren moved to Washington State after being released on a $250,000 bail for this charge. His family helped by paying 10% of his bond. The Arkansas case was delayed for many reasons: mental health checks, legal papers taking time, and even the pandemic. With this freedom, he made his way to Washington State, carrying his troubled past with him. His attorney and prosecutors knew about this move, but what followed would raise serious questions about the justice system. In Washington, Warren's behavior continued to raise red flags. In 2020, police investigated him for having a stolen gun. The following year, in 2021, he got in trouble for lying on papers when trying to buy a gun. On the purchase forms, he did not mention his pending case, a decision that would lead to more legal problems. Even though this was very serious, when Warren shot at Meshay's apartment during an argument, he was released from jail after paying $100,000 bail on March 3, 2023. The court told him to stay away from Meshay, but he didn't listen. 3 days later, on March 6th, Warren broke the rules by calling Meshay from jail. He got out again on March 8, 2023, despite having a high-risk assessment score of 31 on a danger scale that only went up to 18. This decision raises questions about the effectiveness of the risk assessment tools and the judicial system's ability to protect potential victims. When Warren was arrested for shooting at Meshay Melendez's apartment in December 2022, he was initially held without bail due to the serious nature of the charges. However, after a hearing, his bail was set at $100,000, which he was able to post. The court had the responsibility to assess his risk level upon release, but it appears that the assessment did not adequately reflect the potential danger he posed to Meshay and others. After this series of offenses committed by Warren, killing Meshay and her daughter would be the final straw for him. The events of March 11, 2023, began at a friend's home where Meshay Melendez and her daughter Layla spent time together. Throughout that evening, Kirkland Warren came and went from the house multiple times, and arguments broke out between him and Meshay. Something changed in the early morning of March 12th, around 6 a.m. A friend noticed Meshay and Warren's Dodge Charger. She appeared unresponsive and even more concerning. She wasn't appropriately dressed. Warren had left her there while he went to a house party. Later that morning, around 9:30 a.m., Warren sent messages from Meshay's phone to her friend, saying he was coming to get Layla. When he arrived, the friend saw something troubling. Meshay was still in the car, seemingly unconscious, with clothing placed over her head. When the concerned friend tried to check on Meshay, Warren quickly told them to close the car door. The friend handed over Layla and her kitten, Rocky, to Warren. This would be the last time anyone would see them. Days passed without a word from either Meshay or Layla. Their regular video chat sessions with family went unanswered. The silence was unusual for the ordinarily outgoing mother and daughter. On March 18th, 6 days after they were last seen, Meshay's mother, Nicole Norris, went to their apartment. She found their dog alone inside, barking and distressed. This was different from Meshay. She would never leave her pet alone for so long. The family became more worried and reported them missing. The Vancouver Police Department began actively following leads, searching Warren's home for clues that might lead them to the missing mother and daughter. Meanwhile, family members made public pleas, asking anyone with information to come forward, hoping that someone knew something that could bring Meshay and Layla home. Miguel Melendez, Meshay's brother, struggled to maintain hope while facing the unknown. Kendrick Taylor, Meshay's stepfather and Layla's grandfather, also made public pleas for help regarding their disappearance.
It's been since last Sunday since anybody heard, seen, or talked to my daughter and granddaughter.
I'm missing a whole part of me. That's my sister and that's my niece. We don't know where they're at.
According to a Twitter post, the mother and daughter were last seen near Northeast 77th Avenue and Vancouver Mall Drive. In the days following Meshay and Layla's disappearance, the investigation quickly focused on Warren. Just 1 day after the family reported them missing, on March 19, 2023, police took Warren into custody. This arrest came barely 2 weeks after he had posted a $100,000 bail for the December shooting incident at Meshay's apartment. This time, the court took more decisive measures. During Warren's appearance, Judge Susan Clark set his bail at $1 million, 10 times higher than his previous bail. The judge also added strict conditions. If Warren managed to post bail, he would need to wear a GPS ankle monitor. But the consequences didn't stop there. The news of his arrest reached Arkansas, where officials quickly moved to revoke his bail from his 2017 case. Warren would remain in custody from this point forward, held in the Clark County Jail. The higher bail amount and the revoked Arkansas bail ensured he would stay behind bars while investigators continued their search for Meshay and Layla. The search for Meshay Melendez and her daughter Layla intensified on March 19, 2023, when Nicole Norris, Meshay's mother, made a crucial discovery. She found her daughter's abandoned Chrysler 200 parked in the 7800 block of Northeast Lewitt Loop in the Van Mall area. This location was significant, as it was close to where Meshay and Layla were last seen with Kirkland Warren. Nicole's finding of the Chrysler 200 prompted law enforcement to act quickly. The police were able to use this evidence to connect Warren to the ongoing investigation, which ultimately led to his arrest on charges related to tampering with a witness, violating domestic violence orders, and other serious offenses. This discovery also led police to obtain search warrants for Warren's vehicles and phones. Inside Warren's Dodge Charger, investigators uncovered a trail of evidence. They found blood in both the front and back seats. Shell casings from a .22 caliber weapon lay scattered inside. Layla's clothing, matching what she wore on March 12th, remained in the back seat. Meshay's purse, which still contained her identification, was also found. The investigation took another turn when police searched Warren's Hyundai Palisade. Hidden in the center console, they discovered a .22 caliber pistol. This finding would later prove significant when matched with evidence from the crime scene. His text messages showed conversations with a friend on March 13th and March 15th, asking about secluded places and somewhere to hide a gun. By March 18th, Warren was trying to get rid of evidence. He texted a friend about disposing of Meshay's car, writing, "I need to get rid of this Stolo. Stolo is slang for a stolen car." His Google search history painted an even more troubling picture. Warren looked up phrases like how to get blood out of a car seat, how to beat murder, and killing the only witness. During this period, he was being interrogated by a detective who hoped he would reveal their whereabouts and confess. But he remained adamant, appearing to be uninvolved in their disappearance.
Right, so where do you think they're hiding out at? Where do you think would go? Where would she want to be?
I don't know. The only, and then, like I said, again, I'm not trying to point fingers or anything.
Each piece of evidence brought investigators closer to understanding what happened that morning. The detectives' careful work soon led them to a rural area near Washougal, where a passerby's discovery brought the search to a heartbreaking end.
On Wednesday morning, the Clark County Sheriff's Office got a call from someone who was walking on this rural road in Washougal. The caller described what they believed to be two life-sized mannequins down an embankment near a creek. But when deputies arrived on scene, they discovered two bodies.
On March 22, 2023, a quiet morning walk near Washougal turned into a moment that would change everything. Around 9:40 a.m., a person walking their dog noticed something unusual in the thick brush along Southeast Wooding Road. What they thought were life-sized mannequins lying at the bottom of an embankment would reveal a heartbreaking truth. The discovery was made in a remote and isolated area, a single-lane primitive road with only a few private property turnouts. Just off the roadway, near a small creek, lay the two bodies, prompting an immediate call to the authorities. The Clark County Sheriff's Office quickly responded to the scene and confirmed their worst fears. Detectives from the Vancouver Police Department were called in to assist with the investigation. Once at the scene, law enforcement officials began their grim task of recovering the bodies. They worked carefully to preserve any evidence that might provide insight into what had happened. The emotional weight of their discovery hung heavily in the air. As investigators understood, they were facing a tragic outcome. The medical examiner's findings soon confirmed the family's worst fears. Both Meshay and Layla had suffered fatal gunshot wounds to the head. Meshay had a single shot to her left temple, while Layla had 2 wounds, each detail deepening the sorrow felt by their loved ones. The autopsy results indicated that both had been shot with the same weapon, linking them to Kirkland Warren, who was already under scrutiny for their disappearance. In addition to confirming their identities through unique genetic markers, investigators noted that Layla was found naked from the waist down. This led them to collect samples for further testing to determine whether she had been sexually assaulted before her death. The implications of these findings would weigh greatly on the family. The courtroom was filled with heavy silence as Kirkland Warren faced the judge on October 8, 2024. After months of investigation and heartache, the moment had finally arrived for the family of Meshay Melendez and her daughter Layla Stewart to hear the outcome of Kirkland's case. He walked into the courtroom appearing calm but distant. He was already facing serious charges, including first-degree murder and second-degree murder for the deaths of Meshay and Layla. He had already been indicted on multiple charges, including first-degree aggravated murder and second-degree murder related to the deaths of Meshay and Layla. He denied sexually assaulting Layla. In a surprising turn, Warren accepted a plea deal that included an Alford plea for child molestation charges concerning Layla. This type of plea allowed him to maintain his innocence while acknowledging that the evidence against him was strong enough to result in a conviction for sexually assaulting Layla. At that moment, Judge David Gregerson addressed Warren directly during sentencing, emphasizing the gravity of his actions. He stated that any possibility of this being an accident was overshadowed by how Warren disposed of Meshay and Layla's bodies. At that moment, Judge Gregerson sentenced Kirkland Warren to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The decision brought mixed feelings. While some felt a sense of closure, friends and family said they don't feel justice has been served. They told the judge that no punishment could ever bring back Meshay Melendez and 7-year-old Layla Stewart or heal the pain of losing them.
My niece was full of life and potential, taken away in a moment of senseless violence.
This has hurt me so much. I barely eat, sleep, nightmares.
Nicole Norris, Meshay's mother, wrote in a statement to the court, "The day I lost them, I lost a part of myself. Part of me died with my girls. I'm no longer a girl mom. I'm no longer a grandmother." Outside the courthouse after the hearing, Michelle Bart, president of the National Women's Coalition Against Violence and Exploitation, expressed her belief that the justice system had let the mother and daughter down.
We're still very numb, very angry, and so brokenhearted, like any other family would be in a time like this.
She pointed out that Warren was out on bail for a murder case in Arkansas and was granted bail again, despite domestic violence charges involving Melendez. The family also questioned why protective measures, like GPS monitoring, were not put in place from the start. In the wake of the tragic deaths of Meshay Melendez and her daughter Layla Stewart, the community rallied to support their family and honor their memory. A GoFundMe campaign was established to assist with funeral expenses and provide financial support during this difficult time. The campaign quickly gained traction, reflecting the deep loss many in the area felt. However, they stopped accepting donations when the funds reached $21,469. On March 26, 2023, a community vigil was held at Esther Short Park to honor Meshay and Layla. Approximately 300 people gathered to pay their respects, wearing red for Meshay and pink for Layla. Friends, family, and community members shared stories about the vibrant lives of both mother and daughter. This was a heartbreaking case, and nothing can make it easier. We can only hope the positive memories of Meshay and Layla bring strength to their family. May their soul rest in peace. Thank you for watching, and let us know what you think about this case in the comments below.
Don't forget to like the video and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming true crime stories.